Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 5. This is past the halfway point already. We're barreling down the freeway of the semester, and we're almost done. And today I want to talk a little bit about the work for week 5 and, uh, you know, hopefully dispel any sort of conflicts or issues you may have had in the past week. Um, so this past week, you were asked in Unit 4 to pick a topic, and then one of these topics, free speech regulated on social media, mandatory American health insurance, and American national service requirement, and write a paragraph, a pro paragraph and a con paragraph. Well, so whichever issue you picked, right? What I would like you to then do is to bring that forward into this week and then into future weeks as well. And we'll get to that in a second. So the two assignments here, your discussion board for this week is a fact versus opinion. So in your first post, you're going to answer these questions. So what would you consider to be the biggest difference between a fact and an opinion? How would you use a fact in your writing, and how would you use an opinion in your writing? And why do you think that people get confused about the difference between a fact and an opinion? This seems to be a monumental task that we have, at least in America at this point, differentiating between these two, assuming opinions are facts sometimes, or not believing facts because we think they're opinions. I think that the last several years have been a true test of that exactly. So that's your initial post due by Wednesday night, and then your two peer responses, which I want to remind you all to do those. A lot of times, if you're getting points off on the discussion boards, is because you are neglecting to respond to your two peers. And so make sure you do that as well. Now, the main assignment this week is you're going to write the introduction to your argumentative essay. I would very highly recommend that you click on this link here, the argument essay, which I've brought up here. This is the essay that you'll turn in a couple weeks in Unit 7. But we're going to begin work on it in this week in Unit 5, right? And again, it should answer one of these questions. Should free speech be regulated on social media? Should health insurance be mandatory for all American citizens? Should Americans be required to complete some form of national service? And I would really highly encourage that you use the same topic that you wrote about of these three this past week in Unit 4. That way you're continuing that conversation, you're continuing that dialogue and those thoughts. And this week you're going to actually write the introduction to that, right? So you want to make sure that your introduction introduces the topic, obviously, right? You want to, sets up the issue, explains your topics, and then crucially ends with a thesis statement, right? Thesis statements in general are direct, and they have reasons of support. So for instance, if you are going to use the first topic here, should free speech be regulated on social media? Your thesis statement might say something like, free speech should not be regulated on social media because it is a violation of the First Amendment right. It allows the many differing ideas to go, to be out there. Obviously, you'll be more articulate. I'm making up at this moment. And then some other third reason, right? So in other words, your thesis statement is a direct statement, a direct answer to this question. Should free speech be regulated on social media? Free speech should or should not be regulated on social media because of X, Y, and Z reasons. Same with all the other ones as well. And so that's what your introduction does, and that's what you're posting this week. And those reasons of support that you list in your thesis statement, those become the topic sentences of your body paragraphs, right? So for instance, I just talked about the First Amendment, that would be the first topic I explore in my body paragraphs as we write that essay in the coming weeks. All right, so those are the two assignments for the week. Again, I would highly encourage that you use the same topic that you worked on in Unit 4 and keep that consistent. As always, if you have questions as time goes on this week, do not hesitate to email me and I'll get back to you as well. One other quick note on grading. So I get the grading done. I have to have your discussion boards for each week graded by the following Wednesday. So for instance, this coming week, your Unit 4 discussion boards will be graded by Wednesday night. And then your major assignments, the paragraphs, et cetera, are graded by Friday night. That is my required deadline. I often get things done, before then. I have 3 jobs and a child and a dissertation I'm writing. So I prioritize when I can work on these things. So it is likely that you will get those graded before then, but just know that that's the schedule. Wednesday and Friday, you can expect to see my commentary. And make sure you're opening the rubrics where there is some information on specifically what you did, which level of the rubric you achieved, and sort of what you could improve upon. All right, so that's all for this week. Again, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask, and we'll speak again on Wednesday.